Hey, it's Michael Saul, but everybody calls me Tiny, and in this video, I am going to answer the question, will we sell Rosh Hashanah? Plus, I have updates and 3 new stocks to watch. This is for the week of October 3rd, 2016. Let's start off with the stocks I talked about last week. The first was Q2 Holdings, and I redid the consolidation. I had the consolidation with 2 lines pointing down here. Let me grab my tool. This is what it looked like, but what happened was we whittled out to the downside, wiggled, whatever, to the downside. Then we came up and then we rejected that. So what I did is I rearranged the lines here. So we could still watch this, see if it can get a lift up through here, through last week's highs, or actually last week's lows, and perhaps start a pullback. Second stock was Bank of America, and I said to watch for the breakout. And we didn't get the breakout of this pattern. We went down instead, and then we came back up, but it still looks like it may want to break, and it may want to go higher. Now, this is, of course, if the market decides to rally from here. So I have 3 stocks to go over, but first, I want to talk about the market this week. So the S&P has been seesawing back and forth, and Thursday with an ugly day that got saved in the afternoon a little bit, and then Friday, nice powerful day, which I believe the Friday was a prop up for end of quarter dressing. End of quarter, marking up, keeping the market at least somewhat stable. But again, I mean, we still haven't done really anything since this big gap down, except move in a triangle. I believe that we're going lower. I still believe we're going lower. We have a seasonal tendency that starts this week. It is sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur. I will talk about that in a couple of seconds. I don't use seasonal tendencies as triggers in and of themselves, but I watch them for quote unquote wind at my back. And having the seasonal tendency behind what I feel is the technical picture here, I think there's a good chance that we sell off here. Now, of course, just guessing at it is not what makes, doesn't make a real trading plan. I want to see if they could break this lower trend line as a head start. Of course, it has to stick below there. So you can kind of use a little bit above 214. And then again, I'm not looking for the new bear market or a massive correction or anything like that. I'm looking for these lows to be at a minimum tested, probably broken. Then I want to see what we do in this zone, which runs, the high of this is 210.65 up to, it's really this low, I guess you could use now, 212.31. I want to see what we do there, and if we break there, we have the 200-day, then we have another gap down here in the 203s, and then, of course, we have the move down here at 198. Retracement, the full push down here, it would just barely be 10%, and that's if we would have to break 198 to do that. I'm not looking for that just now. Could we get there? Of course. But it's one step at a time. Now, this will be completely voided in my eyes if we take out 218.15, which takes out this gap here. Then I think we're just going to go higher. But I think that this action favors more downside. Again, I'm not a bear. I'm just looking for this move to be completed. I think it started here with the gap down. I think this is corrective. I think we're going to get another leg down. Again, I want to see what we do at this low. Then we have the zone. Then we have the 200-day moving average, okay? Let's talk real quick about sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur, okay? And in 1935, I just read an article here. I took a couple of notes here. So in 1935, in the Pennsylvania Mirror, there was the Wall Street saying, sell before Rosh Hashanah, buy before Yom Kippur. And there was actually an academic paper, according to this, that quoted this article and set out to establish if it was true and still valid. All right. Now, the reason behind this is that the market is weak during it's around 7 days, because Yom Kippur is Wednesday. It will be a week from the 5th. It would be the 12th, which is a week from the 5th, right? A week from this coming Wednesday, okay? And it's that's what the 7-day trading zone is, okay? So now the paper that was tested found that the average returns for the Dow Jones Industrial Average for the 9 trade dates combined, considered, it ranged from, minus 0.4%, which is shorting 3 days before Rosh Hashanah and covering 2 days after Yom Kippur, all the way down to minus better than 1%, shorting 2 days before Rosh Hashanah and buying 1 day after Yom Kippur. They did find out that the market was weak between those two holidays. The traditional explanation is that people of the Jewish religion, they wish to be as free of the distraction of having to manage their portfolios. What they did instead is they just gave up their portfolios so that they didn't have to worry about that, didn't have to manage them, and then once the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur was done, then they could get back into the business of doing business. Okay? So sorry about that little distraction there, but my front door opened and I was taken by shock there. All right. So anyway, that's the theory behind it. And again, I don't use seasonal tendencies for actual timing, but in my opinion, if this trend line breaks and we have that, maybe it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever it is, and that's maybe all it is. Maybe it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever it is. But if we have the wind at our back and we break this pattern, I'm looking for a pullback here. Now, what if we go the other way? Well, the 3 stocks I'm actually putting on the watch list this week are actually long side trades. So in case, and even if we go down, these stocks could fight the market and go up. I hate doing that because I would like, again, to have the wind at my back, which means I would like to have the market behind me. But in case we either go higher or if these stocks decide to go higher, if the market does correct. Okay, so 3 stocks. So one of them is Twitter. All right, so here's Twitter, and Twitter had this big jump up here, rumors getting bought out, whatever it is, and now it's in a nice little consolidation pattern here. I would watch this right here. They're saying Salesforce.com is going to buy them, I believe is the big rumor. Yeah, I was hearing Salesforce, but I'm also hearing Alphabet, aka Google. But I mean, this is a nice little pattern, so maybe they'll get some upside off of this until they decide what's going on there. And if the news was released over the weekend or whatever, then I'm going to miss it. I'm just reading what's on Yahoo Finance as of Friday. Second stock is Shutterstock. And we had this one a couple weeks ago. It popped up, but then it came back when the market started to correct. But look at this move higher here. And now we have pennant, whatever you want to call it. Nice little bullish continuation pattern here. So that's Shutterstock. And then the third one is this RNG. This RNG, Ring Central, is interesting because it's sitting in this nice tight consolidation under 24. Love when the pattern sets up like this. Love it, love it, love it. All right, because it's it's a coil. It's not going to stay in this consolidation. Range contraction leads to range expansion, and vice versa. So I'm looking if this could start trading above 24. Quick move up to 25, which in and of itself isn't a terrible gain, but perhaps it has more to it. Right, you got this high up here. I mean, this took a big dive down from 25.67 basically this year. I mean, I know it started the end of this year, but it's basically this year now. It's trying to come all the way back there. So that is the 3 stocks to watch this week. Okay, Ring Central, RNG, Twitter, and Shutterstock. Any questions? winningedgetrader@gmail.com. Let's see if they sell Rosh Hashanah and buy Yom Kippur. I think we're going to go down because I think that's what the technicals suggest. But if we get above 218.15, I will change my mind very quickly. I mean, even if we break out of this triangle, I may get a little hesitant, but it's got to stick there. Same thing on the downside. It's got to break this line, and it's got to stay there. Have a great trading week. Rosh Hashanah Tovah if you're celebrating, and I will talk to you in